I mean, we've had unbelievable, not just success, but customer service with all of your team. It's been
Oh, that's good to
amazing.
hear.
I've worked with other companies and they're awful. And you guys are really great.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, and well, I'm glad I hit record. I feel like treating everyone we work with like like human beings and how we'd want to be treated is like my number one thing. Hey everybody, Zach Herman here, owner of Automated Practice. I have Dr. Kim Raby here, and today we're just going to be talking about her practice and her experience with us. And yeah, Dr. Kim, could you kind of introduce yourself and your practice?
Yeah. So I'm Dr. Raby. I own Dynamic Chiropractic. We practice in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I primarily have a family practice, and everything is really good and growing in the practice. As always, it's always knocking it out of the ballpark on my own, but always growing steadily through basically guerrilla marketing up until 2 years ago when I got introduced to automated practice. It was me going out either through referrals from our existing patients or me going out and hitting the street and, going and setting up for spinal screenings. And I mean, after 20 years of doing that, it got kind of old after a while. It's very exhausting. Even though it's productive and it works, it's not really where I wanted to be at this point in my career. We incorporated SoftWave into our practice a little over 2 years ago, and I was introduced to automated practice specifically for marketing for the new service that we were providing. And I was very reluctant, I'll be honest, because I had used services similar, not exactly the same, but similar in the past for chiropractic, and it was not the best experience. They promised the world, charged a ton of money, and delivered nothing as a return on investment sometimes, and minimal at best. And a leap of faith, I was like, well, maybe this will be different. And it's been amazing. My practice isn't just steadily growing, it's soaring. The return that we get on our investment with your company is out of the ballpark. Amazing. Month after month. There's always glitches and the algorithm changes with Facebook and Instagram, but you guys are always on it and you're always ready to make changes and open to changes in communication with my team. Problems never become big problems. They become solutions and growing steps. And there's nothing more that I can ever ask for in a team than having them be a part of my team and looking out for me. And that's what you guys do. You really are always looking out for us, making sure that we're as profitable as we can be on the business side. So I don't know if that was a little bit more information than what you
That was
wanted,
great. Yeah,
but
that was fantastic. I mean, I don't even need to ask any more questions. That was perfect. Thank you for that. Yeah, it's tough to fight through the noise. I know you deal with that a little bit as a chiropractor, and there's bad seeds out there, and you have to fight through that. And there's people who've experienced the downside of our industries, and it's tough to repair that. So sometimes weirdly enough, the ones who have been through the bad experiences with the agencies oftentimes end up being our best customers. They see what the alternative is, and so we just really believe in taking a different approach and not just burning and churning through clients, like really just focusing on relationships and treating you like you're a family member, and we'd want our family members' businesses to grow, so we take it with care. So I'm glad you see that.
well, we definitely feel that on our end as well.
Oh, cool. Thank you. So prior to working with us, you said you worked with other agencies. Can you kind of talk about that experience before working with us?
So I worked with a couple different agencies on different aspects. So some were looking to increase and monetize the SEO of my website, and I again and again said that, well, I don't ever get anyone who comes, because we ask everyone, and I have for 24 years in practice, how did you hear about us? I ask everyone, and never has someone said, well, I saw your website and clicked on it and I came in because of the website. So that has no value for me because that's not how I'm attracting. It's a great landing page and it's a good ad and a good representation of me, but it's not something that for me brings clients into my office. So for me, that's not a return on my investment. Well, I've gone through and I've tried that and I've spent tens of thousands of dollars to maximize my website and literally with a zero return on my investment.
Wow.
So then I always felt that I wasn't heard because I was saying, well, this is how I get my patients. This is how I hear people find us. And no one was listening. Then we tried doing some ads, some Google ads, and that was somewhat profitable but extremely expensive. So the return on my investment was like 1.5 to 2 times my investment, which really wasn't that great in my book. And they were a hassle and a half to deal with. To get them to make updates and changes and hear how things were going on our front line. Sometimes it would take 3 weeks just to get a phone call with a representative to talk to a tech about how things were going. By that time, a small problem became a big problem. What made you guys different is that you guys listen to how people find us and you utilize that information, and it has been amazing. Whenever you have something new coming out, you always think of us. And one thing that you and I had a conversation about a couple of years ago was that I typically find that people Google chiropractor near me and then they go to my Google My Business page and they stalk me there. And because I have some halfway decent, amazing actually testimonials that are very relatable to them specifically, and I have good pictures on there, they're coming to me. So I wanted to maximize my Google My Business page. And when you guys had a plan or a program that would do that, you approached me, giving me the opportunity to be a part of that program. And it's amazing. We consistently double the amount of chiropractic patients a month than what I was getting on my own from referrals and guerrilla advertising. So I'm able to spend more time in my office taking care of patients and not as much time doing marketing and worrying about where my next new patient's coming from. I guess,
Yeah.
and then also it's the same thing with the ads. You guys are always on top of things with that as well.
Oh, cool. Well, thank you for saying that. Yeah, you had mentioned about just, you kind of know your area, you know what people are attracted to. And so, yeah, that's big for us. We kind of share a balance of, we know what's going to convert. Like, you kind of touched on the website, that we're not going to send ads, we're not going to send paid traffic or paid advertisements to your website. That's just not going to convert. So we're going to send them to a specific landing page that's concise with the messaging and the offer. And so like, we're the experts where we're the experts, but you're the expert with everything else, with your practice, with your area, with who you'd like to see. And so we take that to heart and, we collaborate on this. We don't just say, hey, you need to do this and you need to, I don't know, do some silly dance on the camera and that's going to convert.
Yeah.
But, we really just want to, we know that you're the expert in the area. And so I'm glad you see that. Since working together, we've been working together for a while. What sort of changes have you seen in your practice after having some of the success we've seen?
Well, we're able to touch on a wider audience too. Whereas we're not just drawing from within 5 miles of the practice. We have patients now that we reach 15, 20 miles away that see the value through the ads that we do with you guys. They're seeing the value and taking a little bit more leap of faith to drive to us. So we're able to tap into a larger array of people than what we would have had prior to working with you guys. That's one of the bigger things that I've noticed is just higher volume.
Yeah, that's
one thing.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's a good point because these people might have never even heard of your practice, but yet they're coming in. Obviously, your practice is able to grow on that, but then you're able to treat these patients who might have had to, we're talking about Softwave here, might have had to go through knee surgery or shoulder repair. In fact, my wife and I have gotten Softwave treatments and all that, and there's just so many providers here in San Diego. My father-in-law, he's in Santa Barbara, and there's not any providers there. And I just knew of a great provider, but they're maybe an hour drive away. But he does that drive because, first of all, the providers are great, but the Softwave itself is just so great. And he was, he's building houses with his bare hands, but he was about to go have shoulder surgery, and that would have just at that age it would have kind of been done as far as work goes. So it's revolutionary, and a lot of people in the area should see it, and it should cast a wider net. So, but otherwise, if he wouldn't have been doing the paid marketing, they wouldn't have known and have gotten help.
Exactly. And there's just not that many providers in my area for someone to just Google and get the information that they need for Softwave. And it really is such a big, and you just said it, you hit the nail on the head. It is such a difference for so many, not just doctors and what we're able to do, but for patients. It changes lives. I see it every day.
Yeah.
People can do things that they couldn't do before, that they never thought they'd be able to do again. And it's really, I wish I would have had it 10 years ago in my practice.
Yeah, I wish. I honestly wish just more people knew about it. And with like you said, with Google, people aren't. I mean, it's getting a little more popular now, but people aren't searching for Softwave therapy near me. And so they're probably searching for like surgery and if insurance covers it and things like that. So it's a tough market on Google, but with Facebook and Instagram. They're now aware of it. This is a new solution. This is different. No downtime. So it's fantastic, and I'm excited for it to grow. I'll wrap it up with just one question: is that you're a practice that's doing really well, and there are probably going to be a lot of practice owners that are watching this who are maybe a couple steps behind or could use some tips from you. Doesn't have to be related to marketing or working with us, but it can. But do you have any tips for practice owners to really help them have the success that you've had?
You mean directly related to Softwave?
Not even. It could be anything. Softwave, just chiropractic. It could be how you present a care plan. It could be really anything. Any kind of if you have any little gems that could help a practice owner.
I tell you, one of the biggest things is having a really good, solid system in your practice, and it's. There's a lot of coaches out there that can help provide that system, or you can just take your own experiences, what works, what doesn't work, but then stick to a system and do that system every single time. Someone that gets invited to sing the national anthem doesn't just go out and just sing it. They practice it probably 1,000,000 times before they go do it, because they want to do their best version when it counts. And that's what having a system does. It allows you to be the best version of yourself, so that when someone has a question, or when a patient has a question or has an objection to what you do, you have a really good, solid answer, and you're not just kind of coming up with it as you go. You've thought that out ahead of time, and then you're able to help more people. Because really what we do as chiropractors, or any practitioner in this arena of healthcare, identifying what the person's need is and or the problem, and creating a solution or giving them the solution to that need or problem. And if you do that, it's pretty much that simple.
Yeah, I love it. Cool. Thank you, Dr. Kim. And I truly appreciate your time, and really wish you the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.